What's up, guys? JunkGuysdfw. I'm in the headquarters. I want to do a quick video about asking for a tip in junk removal. I think, this one hits kind of close to home. So the other day, we went to a restaurant, me and my wife. We parked the car for about $10. We pulled up to the valet. I give the guy $10 to park the car, of course. We had a great dinner. I tip really good. I always tip good. I'm going to tell you, I always over tip, okay? And we asked for our car. The valet brings the car back, and we're done. I'm going to tip the guy, and he asked me, "Sir, would you like to tip me?" I turn around, and I tell the guy, "Well, you know how uncomfortable that is when you ask for a tip?" And he goes, "Well, no, I'm sorry." And I said, "Well, that's how I feel. I don't tip the guy. I don't tip the guy out of, I guess, unprofessionalism. I think it was rude also." Apparently, some of our junk removal brothers thinks it's a great idea. So I'm going through the junk removal discussion group here, Facebook page. I see Carlos CJ says, "I always have a tip function on my app. Not a bad way to end the day." Apparently he got a $131 tip on a job. It was a $659 job. And then they tipped him $131, came out to $791. Congratulations on the hard work, CJ. A tip function. God, when I see that in restaurants, it really pisses me off. I'm telling you, especially when you go get coffee, right? You go get coffee, and then, other than Starbucks, you go to a small place, and then you swipe your credit card, and then it's a tip. I'm like, excuse me? A tip? It's like going to the gas station and buying Gatorade or Snickers bar, and then you pay for it, and it says tip. Honestly, aren't they doing their job? Isn't this something they do? For instance, you go to a tire shop. You know what? Screw it. You go to Walmart. You have the checkout counter at Walmart, right? And you spend $150 worth of food, and then the cashier gives you and swipes the thing, and then she says tip. Well, she did much as work. I mean, she did. Is her work, or is her hard American work not as valued as much as a barista is? I'm sorry, but she was just swiping food, swiping drinks, swiping, groceries for you the whole time. She was doing a lot of work doing this. It added up to $130. Is it okay that she asked for a tip? How about a guy at a tire shop changing your tire? At Discount Tire, at Penske, wherever, at Goodyear, he changes your tire. Then at the end, he puts down there, it's a $190 tire, and he says, "Would you like to tip me?" And he gives you the tablet. I mean, he did great work with his hands. Is that not the same thing as a barista? Is that not the same kind of hard work? Changing a tire, swiping groceries, doing a roof, doing some plumbing, doing some carpentry. Are we all going to start adding just tips? Is changing a roof harder or easier than junk removal? I'm going to tell you, it's a lot harder. I'd rather be doing junk removal, 5 junk removals than 1 roof. Because I'm going to tell you, a roofer puts a lot of hard work in what they do. They're out in the sun. They're moving shingles, 80-pound shingles up in the... They don't ask for a tip when they're done. But we do? When did we turn into this? A tip should be earned. It shouldn't be pressured. It shouldn't be rude. It shouldn't be unprofessional. A tip should be earned because you deserve it. But as I read this page, people agree with them. Willem Mayer says the same thing. He says, "Hey, if you like it, here's our service. Add the gratuity. If you feel you've earned gratuity from you today, then this is the chance to add it." And I guess this is an app. He even says this. Jay Albatera says, I always ask my customers, "Would you like to leave a tip? Would you like to leave a tip?" And he quotes and says, they feel bad about it, but 8 out of 10, they do it. You know what? They don't feel bad. They feel like you made them, I'm sorry about that. You made them feel uncomfortable. So they kind of feel guilty, so they tip. But then a lot of people's come in. Jay Garcia says, I never ask because I hate it when people ask me. He worked on tips back in the day too. David Schnick says, "I don't ask either. I think it's rude and it's unprofessional." And you know what? It is rude. It is unprofessional. Why would you put your customer on the spot? Listen, he says, Gary Sirk says, "Don't put your customer on the spot. I'm a good tipper, but when they ask, I'm not." And that's true. Me too. Don't go out and pressure a customer to tip you. A customer will tip you with the value of your work. If you establish a good job and you did and accomplished a good service, then you deserve a tip. But don't pressure the customer, especially, if they're doing the normal job that they're, they're paying you $400 to complete a garage clean out, and then you go and ask them, hey, do you mind tipping me for the garage clean out? I'm sorry, excuse me, guys, but you're doing a $400 job for me. Oh, here's where I'm going to add an additional $50. Okay, it's bad enough that we already have a high value job, but then you're going to ask them for a tip. Guys, listen, if you're not making enough money, that's one thing, and you really need to nickel and dime your customers for a $50 or $20 tip, that's one thing. But if you make good money, you're successful in the junk removal business, let the customer decide. And I'm going to tell you, this is a bad idea. Do not do this, because I will tell you this. If you ask me for a tip, that's the last time I hire you. I'm going to leave you with that. Don't forget, guys, if you like these videos, subscribe over there to the right side. On the left side, check out my other videos. Bye-bye.